Welcome to the Outsider Media Group, where we talk battle rap from top tier, mid tier to lower tier. There's no biases here. And tonight, me and Caleb, we're gonna chop it up with the homie Blackademiks about his last battle and his upcoming plans. What's good, everybody?
What's good? Yo, great to be back. Thank you for having me back. It's always good to be talking with you guys. It's a good show you guys put together.
Oh yeah, that's a fact, man. Black kind of the MVP of the friends of the show, you know what I mean? Always rocking with us, had the most consecutive appearances and whatnot.
Definitely. Gotta show love. Gotta show love.
That's a fact, man. But let's jump straight into it. So Blackademiks versus Memo, it's out on the GZ channel.
Yes, just came out last Saturday. Please go check it out if you haven't already. We're trying to get those views up. It's sitting at 600 something right now, which in comparison to the last few GZs that dropped is not bad, but it could always be better, of course.
Hey man, just go ask Waylon for some help real quick, man.
Exactly. I'm about to hit him up and like, yo, plug them to your fans, man. Get them watching.
Hey, you know that guy I battled? Well, go be a fan of his now.
Exactly.
But I mean, you know what I mean? I definitely go check it out. Overall, it was a dope battle, man. Dre, I
appreciate it.
You liked the battle, huh? How'd you feel about it?
It was definitely a body. I thought it was an ugly body, man. It was one of them days that I had time to really sit down and look at the battle, man. It was definitely ugly. And I hit the homie up and I let him know good work.
Yeah, word. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's like I fucked with it heavy.
You know that's what's up. I appreciate you saying it was a body. Most people have been saying either way. But you're definitely probably the first person. That's not like, you know, someone who's a friend of mine, because my friends are supposed to say that. But the first people that said it was like an actual body. But I appreciate that. I felt like in the room, and you can't really pick up on it on camera as much, but in the room, they loved Memo. Like 413, shout out to love Memo there.
That's their boy, isn't it? He battles over there.
Oh yeah, a ton. And like I fuck with Memo heavy too, and like I had expected that going into the battle because I hadn't battled on 413 since I won the tournament over there. So it's been a minute, and it's like a whole new fan base and shit. But the amount of love that they showed him was wild, much more than I expected. But they were showing me love too. Like in the first round, it was a little tough. It was kind of an uphill battle. But the second round, they really were fucking with me, and then the third round, I know it didn't get as much reaction as like my second. But I think the stuff I was saying was just, you know, it didn't need reaction, you know? And that's how I feel.
Yeah,
I was going straight off your material, though. I really wasn't caring how the crowd reacted.
Of course, facts. And that's how you're supposed to watch a battle. Like, you're supposed to care about what's actually being said, not what the crowd thinks.
Yeah, and I mean, me and Dre, we've been watching, like, a few of the battles that have dropped from that event, you know what I mean? We got to see Ace Boogie's battle.
Cool. That was a good him and T Sawyer.
What was the other one? Not Doe and Saint, but what's the other one that's dropped?
I think what is it? 3SK and who did 3SK battle? It's a good battle too. Fuck.
I wanted
Drops.
To
say, Drops. 3SK versus Drops.
I thought 3SK and Drops was on iBattle for some reason. Like I remember that battle, but for some reason I thought it was an iBattle battle for whatever reason.
Nah, yeah, this was over. That was a GZ. It was, I think.
Yeah, that was
technically
a good
the main event. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucks with, but I think you so far. I mean, 2-on-2 is not withholding. You know what I mean? Because that's like a different type of battle. I think
2-on-2 is a whole different energy. Yeah, I appreciate that.
But yeah, I mean, okay, so I want to put this out to public light. You know what I mean? I hit you up whenever I was watching. You know what I mean? Giving a breakdown, like as I was going through watching the bars, and you had a Chumbawamba bar. Someone else had the exact same bar.
Yes, shout out to Benji Reckless. He battled Greedy Grimes, and I think he was either a battle or two right before mine. We were like in the same block, I think. And I'm standing in the crowd because I like to be in the crowd during battles just to get the energy of the room. And I'm watching them battle, and I hear the setup for it, and I'm like, "There's no fucking way he's about to have a Chumbawamba bar." And he says it, and it's almost exactly the same as my bar. Now, obviously, we didn't like copy each other or anything, but it's one of those weird things in battle rap. Like, you have something that you think you're the only one who's going to talk about, and then someone at the same event brings up that same bar. And so it was weird, too, because it got reaction when he said it, but I said it in almost the exact same way, and the crowd had already heard a Chumbawamba bar, and so they're just kind of like, we've heard this already. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was like, so did he at least get a reaction? Because I was
from what I remember, he did, but like mine, and it sounds like I think it was something where it's like, this ain't Chumbawamba, get knocked down, get up. Like, it was pretty much exactly the same bar, and it's like, what are the odds that someone else is going to have a Chumbawamba bar at an event?
Because that's an obscure kind of reference.
It's a very obscure reference. Like, it was a throwaway bar that I had for a while, and I was like trying to pad out for time, and I'm like, I'll just throw this in there. No one's going to pick up. Someone else said it, and I was like, God damn, great minds, I guess.
That's hilarious, man. You know what I mean? But I mean, so what's the feedback looking like so far? The reception of the battle, like, I mean, have you scrolled through the comment section? You had people hit you up or what?
Oh, yeah, I've had people hit me up, share the battle, and like people I know, obviously they're going to say that I won or that they really liked it, but I always appreciate that. But the general consensus, I feel like, has been pretty debatable. A lot of people have been saying he took it 2-1. A lot of people saying I took it 2-1, which I'm fine with. At the end of the day, a debatable battle is good because people are going to talk about it. As long as people don't think I clearly lost, that's all I really care. Anyone not trolling or not one of Memo's boys aside thinks that I like got bodied or like got 30'd or something like that. So
yeah, that's a fact. So I mean, so you got the call back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will be back on the G in January. I'm just waiting for my passport to get here, which hopefully will be here before I have to go. But
and don't pull a head ice. Make sure.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna let it get any water damage. Shout out to Head Ice. But no, yeah, I'm gonna be back out to Canada. This is actually my first time out in Canada, probably a few years, but it'll be my second GZ after this one. And I don't think I could say the opponent yet. I told you who the opponent was off air, but I don't want to say the opponent yet just because it officially hasn't been announced. But he's someone good. I've seen his footage. He actually just battled recently on a card that pay-per-view tomorrow to check him out, but I'm pretty excited for it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, that's definitely dope. I mean, hopefully, I mean, maybe after this one or after maybe one more, I mean, I'm seeing that with PGs and GZs, now they're kind of like they're putting people through. I mean, you don't just get one go to the main stage.
Right. So. And honestly, I think that's the best way to do it. I think King of the Dot is really trying to work on building up and farming their own talent. And the best way to do that is honestly not just to throw them to the wolves, like work on them, build up their brand, build up what they lack, and get them ready for a main stage. Because I have seen, like you just said, some GZ battlers who they are good in GZ and then they get bumped up to the main stage, and that jump is just not something that they can handle. Now, obviously, there are GZ battlers out there who can make the jump, and you got like your Eddie Eyes, your Joey Gambellos, your Red Flags, who can really just shout out to Joey and Red Flag, by the way, who just had a great battle at Decade. But those are people obviously who have that it factor and ready to go. But some people, you just got to trust the process. You got to trust that they know what they're doing and they're going to get you where you need to be.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, so I mean, let's talk about that real quick. I mean, it's been a how should I say this? It's been a critique lately that King of the Dot has less of their own rising talent that they're really building up. And I think is going to be like the next wave. You know what I mean? Yourself aside, of course.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. But in all seriousness, yeah, I think we already seen a taste of it. You see Joey Gambello versus Red Flag. Those are two people who I think are going to be very big names moving forward for King of the Dot. Someone like Eddie I, who not only is a great battle rapper, but does great music. Yeah. Exactly. And, he's all over promoting his own stuff. He's someone that I think King of the Dot will definitely have their eye on. And, I think you look at the current Jeezy stuff, there's a lot of people who, myself included, obviously, who aren't quite there yet, but I think the Gully and everyone involved knows how to get them to where they need to be, and we're going to get there. I think, King of the Dot has a strong future if they handle their new talent correctly.
Yeah. I can agree with that. You know, what I mean, and this is what I said. Like, Red Flag had a good battle opening Decade. Eddie I and Saint had a good battle opening up World Dom of last year. The year before that, you had Shoddy P and Peanut having one of the
Mm,
best battles of World Dom.
yeah,
So I mean, I'm thinking that the trend kind of should start emerging that hey, pair these guys up with people in their class, create some dope shit because all of those battles did wonders for both battlers and their brand. You
absolutely.
know what I mean? So, and like we've been talking about with the PG class, like they need to do that a lot too. Like people are so they're like, oh well, such and such needs, you know, what I mean, Don Marino, for example, he needs to get a big name. That's true, but at the same time, you can raise your stock by just battling the people in your class that are good.
Absolutely. By
It's just
rising from
like
the
trial
top of
by
your
fire.
own class and just, it's something that I think, you see people like Lex mention a lot. Like, you can't just pay your way up. Not to say that Don Marino has done that. Like, I don't want to make that
Yeah,
assumption. But I feel like a lot of battlers, they get in this and they pay for the big names to get the one rounder, to get that footage. But at the end of the day, no one's going to watch you for you. They're watching you because you pay to get that other name. So you got to put in the work. You can't just pay to play per se. Um, but yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you've been saying.
all right, but yeah. So while we're on the subject of Decade, you know, what I mean, you said you got to see a good bit of the pay per view. How'd you feel about it overall?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good card. I think a lot of people, there's kind of a bit of an echo chamber when it comes to expectations for Decade and King of the Dot in general, because everybody was expecting like some wild, insanely crazy card with like
Facts.
every King of the Dot battler to ever be on the stage to battle. Head Ice versus
Mhm.
Eminem, like they want like everything. And yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, maybe this isn't like, a Summer Madness card or something like that. But it's a good card that's representative of what King of the Dot is. Like Arsenal versus Pat Stay rematch, that's a great battle. Cortez versus Pass, where like people are saying like, no one wants to see this battle. Like, who's saying that though? Like Cortez and Pass is a good battle. It's a good King of the Dot battle. Sharon versus Jim's the same thing. The Source versus Math Hoppa, I'm just glad the battle finally happened.
Facts.
This is supposed to be happening for years and years, and we finally got it. A Ward versus Poe Rich. That's a good Decade battle
Poe
because it
Rich
shows.
surprised a lot of
I
people.
thought I wasn't surprised that Poe Rich did as well as he did. I feel like there's a lot of new fans who they're like from the tail end of Pat Stay's era onward, so they don't really know about a lot of the older people. And like Poe Rich arguably beat Disaster. To this day, I think he beat Disaster. I don't think he lost that title match, but
Okay.
that's a discussion for another day,
I
obviously.
mean, the thing is, I think that like my thing whenever like when it came to because I had A Ward 30
Mm,
because I believe that A Ward is very talented, and I think that it's partially the last time that Poe Rich that I got to see him on King of the Dot, 100 Bullets just kind of was beating shit down his leg.
sure, sure.
So that kind of that leaves a bad impression. If
Of
that's the
course.
last time we see you, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I mean battle rap is a very much, what have you done for me lately sport, and we all know that. But just overall with Poe Rich's experience, how much they love him in Toronto, I think it just showed in that battle. And not to say A Ward is bad, like outside of his like kind of shaky third round, he was very, very good. I think in his second round, he had like that angle about Poe Rich never being on Twitter and like introducing him to the internet. That was fucking
Mhm.
hilarious. But it's one of the things I think Poe Rich just, in my opinion, I think Poe Rich took the battle. I'm not mad at someone saying A Ward won either, but in my opinion, walking away from it on the first watch, I gave it to Poe Rich. But like I was saying, it's a good King of the Dot battle. So when I look at this Decade card, I see a good card. Yeah, maybe it's not the blockbuster showstopper that battle rap fans want right now, but for King of the Dot, this was a good card. It was a good way to close out the year, and I think 2019 is going to be strong for King of the Dot. I think they're going to continue building their talent. They're going to keep nurturing their talent, and I'm excited to see how World Domination 8 goes.
See, now whenever like I didn't ever think that the card was like awful. You know, I mean, I was one that was like defending, being like, y'all are kind of expecting a lot. But
Facts.
I also did like I didn't know until they announced World Dom. I thought the Decade was the World Dom for this year. Like I thought
A
that
lot
was
of
the
people
legit World
thought
Dom
that because it's
season.
at the right time for Dom, you know?
Exactly. And so like I was expecting a better card, but now that I know 1 month later, that's probably going to be a big blockbuster card.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. And I think, you know, a lot of people, there's going to be battles on that card that are going to turn a lot of naysayers around. But because I'm even seeing in talkback today or yesterday, people talking about this is the end of King of the Dot. They're dying, which they say every year. I remember a few years back, I think it was before Blackout 5, or it
Mm-hmm.
might have been right around the time, or whatever the reason was, they canceled one of their World Doms. They just didn't do it one. And I just remember seeing everyone saying, "Oh, this is the end of King of the Dots. They're dying." Da 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 da. And after that, you know, they had Blackout 5. They had Diz versus Oxymoron. Like they had big events, but every so often, you know, a league has a slump. URL has had its slumps too.
Oh, that's a fact. That's what I've been saying.
So it's just one of those things. Like battle rap ebbs and flows. Like sometimes one league is on top, sometimes another one is. If I wasn't, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if someone said the biggest league in 2018 because they had showstopper events.
That's a fact. Yeah, Blackout 5 is probably one of my top 5 battle rap events ever.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
In my opinion, and I think this is kind of controversial, it's up there with a Summer Madness 2. Maybe not impact-wise, but just with how big the event was, with how many
The
people came
battle
back.
quality was very good for the most part.
Absolutely. Having Drake involved, like, it was a very big event for battle rap. And it's arguably one of the best events ever, in my
The only
opinion.
battle that I can think of that was like a disappointment on both sides to me was like T-Rex and Holohan.
Right, yeah, I kind of... It's one of those battles where it's like, I don't remember bad per se, but it was kind of forgettable.
It's like I don't it's just like I don't know why y'all like who was asking for this, you
Right,
know?
right.
But I mean, while we're on the subject of RBE, I mean, I broke the news a minute ago, but let's actually get on the footage now. You know, I mean, they announced today, Ill Will and Young Ill.
That is a wild battle. I'm a huge Young Ill fan. I always been a Young Ill fan. One of my favorite battles of all time is still the one rounder between him and Rex. I think that's our ever.
Mm.
And I'm always glad to see him back. You know, he had the 2-on-2 with Verb a few a few years ago. I think one of the double impacts. And it was good to see him back there. And I'm just hoping that he shows out against Ill Will, because Ill Will is not a slouch. Ill Will is a very good battler.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, Ill Will, he just had a great battle, like battle of the night with Calico. So I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
right. They did just battle, didn't they? I had completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, it was a fantastic battle. You know what I mean? And they'll also announced for the same card, Math Hoffa versus Holla the Don.
Now that's RBE needs to chill, man. They need to chill the fuck out. Like shit like this is just so wild. I think that's going to be a great battle. Something we said off the show, but I'll bring it up here is we are running out of battles that have any kind of grudge match feel to it, that have any kind of history to it. Like there's not much left. And I don't know if part of that is the new battlers need to start building these grudge matches, or if we're too reliant on the old class of battlers to provide us with these matches we're looking forward to. But they're dwindling down. We can't do this forever.
That's a fact. Can only retire so many times.
Exactly. It was so funny. He battled Pat and he's like, okay, this time I'm really retired. And I'm like, okay, I give you 4 months.
Uh, that shit is wild, man. You know what I mean? So what's going on over there on the iBattle front? Didn't they just have?
Yes, they just had, was it Cold War? I feel bad because they had a pay-per-view last weekend, and my boy Chris Casey, shout out to Chris Casey, he's a personal friend of mine, he just had his first battle ever. He had a tryout at 413 Battle League, and he fucking killed it, arguably, easily, the performance. But, of course, that was last Saturday, and that was the same day as their Cold Winter event that just passed. And that was a 2-day event, I believe. I'm actually going to be grabbing the pay-per-view tomorrow when I get paid so I can watch it. But once again, you want to talk about a league that cultivates and builds talent. You got to talk about iBattle. iBattle does a great job of finding these names who they might just be missing that one thing. They're missing like just one or two things that could really push them to be on a GZ platform or a PG platform and move forward from there. Lex is really smart out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, giving you the matchups that make sense for yourself and your opponent. So if you're not, for anybody who's listening and who isn't already tuned into iBattle, if you want to be ahead of the game and know about what battlers are going to be blowing up on King of the Dot or maybe URL, pay attention to iBattle because you're going to see them.
Yeah, that's a fact. We've seen a lot of battlers come from and do their thing like elsewhere. Flow Leads, Blackademiks, King Jables, Red Flag, Eddie I. That just to name a few. But
absolutely,
good shit to them though. I'm already I'm already tuned in, but I definitely want to see what they have going forward because I'm not really disappointed with the quality of the matches really ever. And maybe that's just my personal preference, but
no. Something about like the iBattle platform. I say it's a fun league to battle on. Not to say that it's like easy, but it's a fun environment. It's an environment where if you're fire, you're going to get the reaction. There's no like hating over at iBattle. There is no favoritism per se. Like if you're good, they really just welcome you badly. Something that's good for league, especially if you're just starting up and you're trying to build that confidence. Be a battler more than just one as a one-off.
So, Volume 3 is this weekend. How you feel about the card?
Jesus Christ, Volume 3 is this weekend?
Yes,
God
it is.
Damn it, URL. Battle Rap, I feel like there's never a weekend off in Battle Rap. God damn it. Let me pull up this card real quick, though, because I know it's fire. Oh, yeah, look at this shit. Briz versus Mr. Wavy. Loso versus... I know they've been going back and forth for a minute. Been seeing them back and forth on Twitter and, like, on Champion and stuff. JC versus... I'm surprised that happened. With,
like, they've been calling for it for a while.
Because, like, you think of when he really hit on URL, and then you think of momentum when he came back. He would have matched each other already, but Rum Nitty versus Tor, crazy. This is O-Red. That can be writer. It's a smack, so it's going to be small room, which is good for the both of them. I feel like. Same thing for JC versus Av. Like JC versus Av and Iron Solomon versus O-Red. I see these being two of the standout battles from the event because the last time Iron Solomon was on a Smack card, Smack volume, to this day,
exactly.
One of the best battles I've ever watched. Like fantastic. Of course, K-Shine versus Geechee. Like, how could you not like that battle? Both here and the deciding factor for some people. So.
Yeah, night. I think that could be a battle of the year. I kind of feel the same way about Twerk and Nitty, but I think that the consistency is a little bit more on the side of Iron and O-Red.
Yeah, every card has the potential to be a today. I mean, something even like a JC versus Av in a small man. That's just going to be back-to-back heaters. Like, it's going to be good. And once again, Iron Solomon versus O-Red. Like, this is a battle that, like, it should be like lightning and work to be a good battle. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't really know about it, but this was set up for the RBE card. They should have a good amount of material.
Iron Solomon.
Yeah, and it didn't happen. O-Red, so it turned into Iron K because Big K was supposed. It was just a whole
bunch
of moving.
That sounds like a whole mess.
Yeah.
That makes sense
Shouts-
now because I remember watching Big K versus Iron, and I'm like, this is not that good of a battle. I would think if they had played things and
Yeah, shouts to, I mean, they can think
definitely.
he does.
I've only ever heard good things about ARP when it comes to battle rap. Like, no sketchy shit, no real own battler say something bad about ARP, which I think someone has had a gripe.
Yeah, that's a fact. So all right, you're out in Mass, right?
No, I actually live in upstate New York.
Okay, so kind of goes back to the iBattle thing, and I think I've asked this before, but who's next y'all's flock? You know what I mean? I know there's a lot to name, but if you had to pick like 4 or 5, you know what I mean?
Are we talking about people who've like never really hit GZ either? Just people who
Yeah,
are like
people that just there's level they haven't reached the next of league yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I definitely think there's a few people just off the top of my head. You have Monster Leakness. Monster Leakness. If you guys haven't heard of Monster Leakness, for the love of God, go to iBattle, look up pretty much any Monster Leakness battle, and you are going to be impressed. He is a very, very good writer, and he can move words in a way that you don't think would make sense. And that's a weird description for him, but once you watch him, you will get it. He's one. Jack Casserole, he's one that is long overdue for a GZ. Notch is somebody who's really, really good. Another very creative writer. Let's see here. I want to say Kid Slade, but Kid Slade, I think, just had a PG a few months back.
Yeah. So
Let's see. Louis Valentine, he's another who deserves a GZ very, very soon.
didn't he just have one on the same card as you?
Oh shit, he was on the same card as me. Man, I'm a jackass. Louis Valentine's about to yell at me after he hears this. But yeah, no. But shout out to Louis. He actually 30 the guy he battled, so that was a good one.
Yeah, and that's like I think that's part of the reason, you know what I mean, why you can't remember it as well, because it's just kind of like it's an ugly body.
Right, yeah, because like a back and forth, you think about that, but for a body, you just well, we got body, and you move on. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Jack Tripper, if he hasn't been there already. I'm just rolling through the iBattle catalog and just looking at names. Teslove, he's another good one. He battled QP a few months back on iBattle. QP Sons. And and now I'm seeing people that have already made it, like Dale Dentons, your Eddie Eyes, and people like that. And it just goes to show once again how good it is at building that talent and getting them to the next level. One other one I'll say is Mew Lips. There's this guy Mew Lips who's also at iBattle. Very, very good, and he's one who I think deserves that
I heard
look on
he had
GZ.
Battle of the Night at the last event he was at. So
yeah, very, very creative battlers. Actually, you know what? Just to make it easy for you guys, Mew Lips versus Monster Leakness. It's on iBattle. If you want to see two great up-and-comers who you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of soon, check out Mew Lips versus Monster Leakness. That is the one. It's a very, very good battle.
Okay, word. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to the burgeoning talent, I guess you would say, of King of the Dot, you know what I mean? I'm hoping after this one, maybe one more. You know what I mean? We get to see you making the main stage debut sometime, maybe like mid 2019.
That'd be the dream, man. I've always said, like, and when I talk about like King of the Dot and stuff, I think my favorite, not my favorite event per se of like one singular event, but like my favorite style of event of all time is Blackout. And so for me, like if I have an end goal in battle rap that I could just say, okay, I did this, I could stop right now and I'd be happy, is to make it on a Blackout card. Like seeing my name on the Rolodex and shit, that would be something that I could look back at all this and be like, yeah, it was worth it. So that's the dream right there, making it out to that event.
That's a fact. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, definitely hope you make it out there. You know what
Appreciate
I mean?
it.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're good for right now. You know, I mean, I think unless Dre got anything else, but I think I'm good. You know what I mean? It was very informative. I'm glad we got to chop it up about some of the current happenings in battle rap. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I
Always
gotta
love to be on here.
as soon as you know what I mean, as soon as the flyer drops, we definitely gonna like share that shit around, you know what I mean? Start building
Of course, definitely. Yeah, as soon as they announce my opponent for this GZ, I will let you guys know, and I'll be back on here because we're definitely gonna have to talk about it.
Oh yes, sir. But all right, man, you know what I mean? I mean, I think that's it. KTL, man, Outsider Media Group.
Yeah, Outsider Media Group.
Yeah, 540 Dre, VA all day.
Hey, yo, shouts